both answering questions, or is it just me?
All of us, yeah. Hey, welcome to the 50th episode of the Huddy Hui, Talofa Lava. It's Samoan Language Week, so I thought we'll start with a usual Samoan greeting. And we've got a special guest on tonight, but first we've got a co-host joining us tonight as well, and that is Mitchell Gough, who is a legend of the Pōneke Rugby Club. He's the former head boy of Rongotai College. Mitchell, it's great to have you joining me as the co-host tonight.
Yep, happy to be here, Bradley. Cheers for having me on.
Well, we'll talk about
a great episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about your club later on, because there's something special going on out there at Kilbirnie Park at the moment. Two massive wins in the space of 3 weeks. But more importantly, we'll talk about our guest tonight, because that's who your club's going to be playing against. Of course, this young man has a promising future. He is the number 8 for the Upper Hutt Rams, and also he was the number 8 for St. Pat's Silverstream last year, and he was a star find. And our guest tonight is Toby Crosby. Toby, many thanks for coming on the Huddy Hui. You had a tough loss on Saturday against Tawa. Upper Hutt have come close to winning on a number of occasions this season, but why did you fall short against Tawa on the weekend?
Yeah, cheers, Brad, for having me on here on the 50th episode. Pleasure. So Tawa, it was a tough old game, real physical. They really brought it to us. We really played some good footy in the first half, and I just felt like as the game went on, we held in there for a while, but then ended up losing at the end there, just slipped away from us. In the end, just couldn't quite execute on the opportunities we were creating for ourselves.
So have you found Upper Hutt this season? What was the reason for you for joining the club? Because you had a number of Wellington clubs chasing after you, and explain some of the key factors for your decision to join the Rams.
Yeah, I guess for me, it was just sort of like, I wanted to be, all my mates from like 2020 and 2021, first 15, they all kind of went off to, typical Petone, OBU and Hart, and I just wanted to be a bit different and, join a club where not many people go to and just start my own journey, and also the sport off the field from over there at the club's just like, means more to me, whatever's going on, I know they've got my back off the field, and that's really important to me.
Now let's talk about that win over Marist St. Pat's. I don't think many people saw that win against Marist St. Pat's, highly fancy side, and Upper Hutt haven't beaten Marist St. Pat's for a long time. How special was that for the club? And you've come close a number of times this season, but against some other sides as well. So what's been the key thing where the Rams have just fallen short, because you've been in winning positions such as against Wainoia-Mata?
Yeah, it's a tough one, because unfortunately I wasn't playing the MSP game. I ended up testing positive for COVID right before the game kicked off, because I was suffering in the warm-up a bit, and I did a quick test and it was positive, so ended up having to pull out, which is unfortunate. It was an awesome game to watch from a distance. But that pretty much sums up our season, really. Like couple of close losses, a draw, and all losses within 5 points, and it's just kind of it's frustrating, because I don't know, we can't really tell if it's just if it's our fitness, if it's our decision making, or what's really happening. It's just a couple of things happening in the end, like a try and a drop goal, and it's tough.
All right, Toby. Now, have a chat about your current time at the Rams. Who are some of the key influences? I know you've got a few club legends down there and a few current battlers as well. So who you really vibing with, and who are your big influences down at the club at the moment?
Yeah, for me, probably off the field, probably Dustin Bradle is a manager for the Rams. He's really supportive of me off the field, on the field, really got my back, and really learning a lot of him, and he's awesome. And on the field, probably just all the boys are awesome, mate. They all support me off the field and G me up when we need it, and give me the confidence on off the field, have my back. But probably couldn't name anyone in particular. Everyone's just pretty awesome, eh?
Now, most young men straight out of college end up going straight to Colts rugby, but this season, because of your pedigree, you have gone straight through to Premier Rugby. Would you have rather like playing Colts first, or is Premier more of a challenge for you?
Yeah, I think now, like looking back, I'm really enjoying Premier footy. I'm really enjoying the physicality and the contact, and it's a huge step up for me from school rugby that I'm really, really like enjoying and just making the most of. I can't really imagine playing Colts now, just because of playing Premier Rugby now for so long, or for 8 games. But I'm just really enjoying the atmosphere and just the crowd and the real quality players and teams that we come up against. It's really awesome and really making the most of it.
Now, have a quick chat to me about the missing grandstand at the club rooms. It's a bit of a mission finding where to play at the moment. So chat to me about that. How have the Rams responded to changing rooms, the game day experience, and having to put away teams in some shipping containers?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's pretty unique and unusual, but I think it's pretty cool what they've done down there. So we haven't got a club room or a changing shed. It's just we've got the old green room that was just like stockpiled with a bunch of random stuff, couches and tables and chairs and whatever. Bit of a mess, but we've turned it into a pretty cool place. It's like a bit of a bar and changing room on the other side, tables and chairs. Pretty cool setup for the club, for the players, and we're really enjoying it. And the old timers really enjoying it too. But it's a pretty cool setup and pretty impressive for what it started as.
And of course, those new buildings when they're open, it's going to be a sportsville type of thing set up by the council, and of course, apparently the COVID Emergency Relief Fund. So, who's going into the Sportsville, Toby, and are you allowed to display Upper Hutt's history on the walls?
Oh, I'm not sure on that one.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope, because Sportsville's, as Padiki has, they have a fantastic Sportsville there. And they display the history. One of the greats as well. Anyway, you were born in Greytown, Toby. You played your junior rugby over there. If you had the opportunity, would you play back over the hill, over the Rimbitaka, back in Greytown in the future? And do you still live over in the mighty Wairarapa?
Yeah, so I played all my junior footy over there from when I was 3 all the way to about 13. So that club will always have a special place in my heart over there. So definitely we'll go back there at some point when I'm nearly ready to finish playing footy, back into my playing days. I'm still living over there just in the weekend. So crash in Upper Hutt, somewhere in Upper Hutt with one of the teammates during the week just to get round to class and work and whatever, training. But then go home in the weekend and spend time with mum and dog and cat and whatever. So it's really cool to go back there and get a bit of a break, quiet.
And now your years at Silverstream must have been a bit different as a boarder. What exactly did you enjoy about college and the lifestyle of being a boarder at Silverstream? And who influenced you largely while you were at school? I know there's a lot of people floating around at Silverstream, a lot of legends, all across the hut, all drawing their roots back to Silverstream. So.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed boarding, like lots of role models. It was good because I came from a family with no siblings, so kind of getting into that environment was quite cool. It's with brothers there. But probably for me, probably one of the biggest influences probably Charlie Lloyd, Mr. Lloyd. He was a teacher and director of boarding supervisor, so he was pretty big for me and around rugby and the gym. And also Max Pearson, he was a boarding supervisor, just helped me get started with training and just always keen for a chat. So they were pretty big role models for me right through to year 13 from year 9. So, yeah.
In 2020 was a breakout year for you, Toby. You burst onto the scene with the first 15. From that time, what did you learn about yourself in the 2020 season? And what have you done to take it towards the next level?
Yes, so at the end of the 2019 season, I kind of just had a recap and look back, and I just thought for me, so I'm really going to pick up the training, so get into the gym, get into doing conditioning and getting into my speed work and just pick up my nutrition, make it a bit more consistent. And that's like from the end of that 2019 season, from midway through 2019, I really started to pick things up and train harder. And I think for me, that really benefited me. I mean, I got a lot bigger and stronger and faster and fitter all quite quickly. So I really, it was really benefited me on the field, which was, and now it's just up to keeping that up, maintaining it.
Yeah. And also, I've got in the notes here, apparently you've scored a brilliant try in the first 15 final last year. So obviously I haven't watched it, but tell us about it. Tell us about the final and everything that happened. And tell us how you feel about the final score coming down to a draw and it being and sharing that trophy at the end?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We got out to about a 5-try lead at half time, and I think 24-7 it was, and then I think all of our boys, we pretty much thought we were going to win by that stage, which we shouldn't have. We went to sleep, which was a mistake, and then Scots ended up coming right back, scoring about 6 tries to come back and being up by 12. So it was 36-24, and with like 9 minutes to go, we ended up somehow scoring two more tries and tying it up. So both teams really dropped the ball at different points in the game when they had a clear opportunity to take the win. So yeah, we ended up drawing, which was disappointing, but it was also quite quite a unique finish to a first 15 premiership final, especially after the big year and the build up and everything that happened. It was quite cool to finish in a way that you don't see very often.
And so today, Silverstream played one of their fiercest traditional rivals, New Plymouth Boys High School. And unfortunately, New Plymouth beat Silverstream today, 20 points to 17. Would you take in the shot at goal, Toby? But last year, you bet New Plymouth Boys at what is one of the most famous grounds in New Zealand rugby, the Gully, and you bet New Plymouth Boys 15-3 last year. What does it take to win there at the Gully? And is it the toughest traditional out of all of them that Silverstream play for?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, I didn't play that game because when I broke my finger last year. So I ended up being from the sideline, being the water boy. So that was unreal atmosphere. All the crowd and all the students doing the haka and just chanting all the way through the game. Just didn't stop. This is probably the most unique, unreal atmosphere first 15 game I've ever seen, and it's definitely, I'd say, one of the toughest traditional to win, especially when you're playing up there at the Gully.
Yeah, sounds pretty hard. No wrong psychology though, but it must be one of the best. Now I've also got down here that you've got a nickname called Protein Crosby. What exactly is in your protein, and give us a little bit of an explanation behind that.
So I think that started when back in 2020 when I started obviously training a bit harder, got a bit bigger. So I think Adam Julian and Mitch had a bit of a chat, and Mitch Southall told him that I put protein powder on my Weet-Bix every morning. I think that's how it started. Ever since then, it's sort of stuck, So yeah.
What's the toughest game of rugby you have played so far in your career?
Oh, there's a lot of them. Probably physically, I'd say one of the premier games this year, Tawa. Auries, yes, physically it's probably one of those games, but mentally, probably the semi-final in Wellington College last year. I mean, obviously we're down by 9 with 5 to go. It was pouring down. Didn't look like we were going to win, and somehow we brought it back and won, which is probably it was pretty crazy and unreal. Didn't really expect it to happen.
Well, all sorts of things happened in that semi-final last year. The weather changed, and the mistakes galore. And of course, Manuel Solomona stepped up and got the one kick that actually mattered.
Yeah, it was an unreal kick. It's good to see from behind. Watch it go over, sail through the posts. It was probably a memory I'll never forget.
Now, you're obviously part of the Wellington setup and the academy and everything. So, what are a couple of things that you've learnt from your time in the Wellington line squad and the academy and things like that?
I'm just really enjoying mixing with a lot of other good players and learning off the coaches there, and there's some awesome coaches dropping off just little tips and tricks and how to do things better and adjust yourself. So I'm really just really making the most of every single moment there, just utilizing every bit of information and advice that's given to me, and it's really cool to be a part of a group, especially with the academy, just being able to go into the gym and do our fitness training, conditioning, just having each be able to push each other through training, and it's awesome having a group of guys there we're all gunning for the same goal.
Now, last year you were selected for the New Zealand Barbarians team. I would have put you in the New Zealand Schoolboys, to be honest, Toby, after that try in the final. But you should have made it. But what are the work-ons that you need to build into your game in particular? And what was it disappointing not to be able to go on international tour due to COVID?
Yeah, I think just for improving my own game, I think just continue just developing my skill set, ball skills, and just continue to work off the ball. Those are just big things for me that I think I need to work on. But yeah, it was pretty gutting to having to miss out on the New Zealand Barbarians due to COVID. It was a bit of a shame because after a big year and long season, it was good. It'd be good to go out and play with some other guys around the country. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm happy I was selected in the first place. That was enough for me.
And the other question I'm going to ask you, Toby, is we're very surprised that you weren't in the Hurricanes under-20s. Tell us why, because you're a stellar player. What do you need? What do they say that you needed to work on to make the under-20s?
Yeah, I think it's just it was a tough one because I think I'm just like really enjoying playing club rugby at the moment, and I know from the start of the year to now I've improved a lot just by playing with different players and from different age groups and different skill level, and just playing with other club players and against other club players that are just really awesome players, and just making the most of it. I guess it's just I'm really happy with my development at the moment and where it is, and it's just it's good to just I think it's going to take time, just a bit of practice, and just it's only going to come with actually playing rugby itself. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying club rugby and just really happy with where I'm at the moment.
And how important has family been in your development and your rugby journey?
Yeah, pretty crucial. I mean, my mum's been everything for me, really, like driving me to rugby ever since I was a kid, and having my back if I didn't make a team when I was didn't make a rep team back in when I was a junior and stuff. She'd always have my back and support me, so that's been really big for me. So yeah, and just always being in every game. So yeah, it's been pretty important. I can say
Yeah, how good are mums? Now, the whole Huddy Sports fan base is wondering, what does Toby like to do outside of rugby? Job, hobbies, anything? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so currently I'm working at the Shandon Golf Course, so that's just a bit of greenskeeping and labouring, mowing lawns sort of thing. So I'm really enjoying that. Just gets my head out of the game, and yeah, just put my head down and go to work, which is cool. Do that part time, but also I'm studying to be a personal trainer. So looking to do a bit of that on the side for whatever I'm doing for the next few years. Yeah, so I'm almost finished that, almost qualified. A few weeks, I think, and we should be all good. But yeah, so those are my two outside of footy things. But I'm also coaching at Stream, one of the under 15 teams. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that too. Working with a cool bunch of lads and just teaching them what I know and sharing my passion. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
What does the future hold for Toby Crosby? What is your future ambitions in the game?
Oh, I'm just really keen to keep learning and developing and just be able to become the best player I can, be the best athlete I can, and just continue to learn with the academy, with the guys in there and the guys above me, just learning off them and developing my game. And I'm just really enjoying just playing some quality footy.
Well, Toby, it's been fantastic having you as our 50th guest on the Huddy Hui for our 50th episode. All the best against Pōneke this weekend, and go well.
Cheers, Brad. Appreciate you having me on here.
Thank you, Toby. Well,
yes, Toby.
Well, Mitchell Gough, Toby Crosby, he might be in the opposition this week out there at Maidstone Park, but Pōneke, we've got to start with them. Two massive games they've won this season. They beat Petone, the top of the table team, a week after McBain. And then they beat the other team that played at the McBain, the Huddle Boys Marist Eagles, and scoring a try with a matter of minutes remaining. Tell us what's going on with Pōneke at the moment. There's a bit of a resurgence going on.
I couldn't tell you, Brad. I couldn't tell you. But there's one thing that always comes back to me, one famous saying they see everywhere, can't get enough of it. It's men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, We're 9-1 so far, looking pretty good on the scoreboard. Points differential of plus 24, potentially one of the lowest in the competition, but win's a win, and looks like every Saturday we just go out there and do our best to win.
Well, in particular, the Pōneke have one of the best defensive patterns I've seen. I've called them 2 times this season. Jimmy Gerbich against Oriental Rongotai, and then the Tilliard Shield against Petone. And what has been key so often in those games has been the defence, and in particular, Jimmy Hewitt. That guy is just a machine.
Yeah, I call him the best player in the world for a reason. Have him on your team and you're putting yourself in the best spot to win. And the fact that he's switched from second five to open side flanker in the same year is pretty crazy to me. So, great guy, even better player. So, how good.
And Mitch, you might be our co-host tonight, but you've just returned from a long stint with an injury. Tell us about what you had to go through to get back on the paddock.
Pretty tough. Against the Upper Hutt Rams, actually. So, a bit of a grudge against them. It's been a long process. Rehab for about a year. And then went for just a casual checkup, almost a clearance really, and got told things weren't going the right way. So had to shut down immediately. Go through another rehab process, start back square one, whole another year of rehab, and finally getting back into it too. So 67 minutes in the weekend, and felt pretty good. So we're getting there, improving every week, I guess. Yeah.
Well, that's the main thing. At least you're back on the paddock and enjoying your footy. We into another round of club rugby. We're getting close to the end of the Swindale Shield. There's some pretty decent games on this week, and there's some that are pretty straightforward. But let's go through them. And who do you reckon are going to win these games? North's Marist St. Pat's out at Jerry Collins.
That's a big one. I'd like to think Norths will win that at home. Beating Norths at home is always pretty tough. Jerry Collins got the whole of Polydoor City behind them, so MSP will find it hard. But I'm picking North for that one. Definitely lock that in.
And the Norths 100 Club, they're just formidable. One of the great supporters bases that there are that go around. OBU Johnsonville. Well, this is the game I'm really looking forward to. The OBU Johnsonville. The Hawks have really just been plucking the wings of other teams this season. And, of course, they made life hard for Pornicky a few weekends ago, but I reckon they've got a real chance here at Anvil Park.
Hey, don't put anything past Johnsonville. We saw them play against us 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they aren't like Johnsonville of old. They've got a few new players, and I know a few of their players were actually OBU converts. So a bit of a revenge game for them maybe, or however you look at that. But hey, Johnsonville and 10th seeds, not a bad bet. So I don't know. I might even pick Johnsonville to win that one, actually.
And also we've got an 8 versus 9 battle, Oris versus Parramatta Plymouton. Yeah. Parramatta Plymouton, a disappointing loss last week against Petone, but Oris at home should be probably just a bit tough for them.
Yeah, I'd like to think that too, Oris at Polo Ground's always hard, especially at this time of the year when the grounds are a bit softer and it gets muddy and their big boys can really just park up and do what they do best, I guess.
And Petone Tawa, this is another stelling one. It's 1 versus 6 on the table. Tawa, well, their season has been up and down. They produce a good one, and then they things don't really go to plan. They got sort of done 2 weeks ago against Norths. Are Petone going to be too strong at home?
I'd say so. They've got a good team running the cutter there. Good forward pack, get good fast ball, and they might even have a few of the under-20s boys back this week. So a few more weapons in the arsenal there. I'd like to think that they could probably push their record out to about 10-1 or 9-1 or whatever it is.
Wainui Avalon, that's going to be a tough one indeed. It's a real a tough affair, particularly knowing the rain we've had, which of course it's just pouring down with rain here in the Hutt Valley at the moment. But that will be a real dogfight, that one.
This is potentially my match of the round, I think. Bottom of the table clash, can't beat it really. Can't beat it. Playing with house money, both teams. Wainui and Avalon, both physical clubs. And no one likes going to either of those places. So, if I was a betting man and put my money on Avalon, I like the way they do things and their physical side.
And the X-Men versus the Eagles at Hototo Park. I think it's hard going for the X-Men this season, but I think the Eagles should win that.
I'm picking X-Men for the first win of the season, actually. They're deserving of one. Upper Hototo Park with the neutralises the game, so you never know. But I'm picking X-Men 1-12 for that one.
And of course, we'll save the best to last. Upper Hutt versus Pornicky. We had our guest Toby Crosby tonight. He thinks he's confident that he's going to win. But being a Pornicky man, I think you'll be picking Pornicky, won't you?
Yeah, I'm picking the lads, the street kids from Kilburnie. Being put in shipping containers on the weekend is going to be pretty tough. Especially if there's more than one team on the ground, you might get half a shipping container. I don't know. I'm not even sure if they have showers out there. Pretty difficult to find the ground, so we better be on time. But hey, love an underdog story.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you use your Google Maps indeed. And of course, first 15 rugby into the second round. Rongotai is back on the paddock. They had the bye of the first round. They've got to travel out the Trentford Racecourse, play Hibs. What's Rongotai like this year, Mitch?
You know, my intel tells me we're in the middle. Good for an upset or two, but again, always looking just to edge into that top four and then carry on the next year. So I'd like to see us hopefully beat Hibs this week. You sort of beat those teams that are at the bottom of the table, and then you maybe get one upset in the top four, and you had a good season really. And Hibs are sitting fourth, but only one round in, so I'm picking Rongotai for that one. Hopefully, a away win. Played there a couple of times. It's never easy. Not a nice pitch out there, but could be a good win.
Well, St. Bernard's played Marta College at 3:30 today, and that was played in some of the most severe conditions I've ever commentated a game in. Howling winds and rain and wind. It was pretty unbelievable. But Scots versus Cole was the top of the table clash in the first 15 competition out at Scots this weekend. Scots having a big win over Mana, where Wellington College put on a second half display against St. Pat's Town. This could be an interesting one. The star talent of Stanley Solomon at first five and some good backs, but the big forwards from Scots, that could be interesting on a wet paddock out at Scots.
Yeah, I think that could swing either way as well. And anytime you get some of those two big titans of first 15 rugby playing each other, it's always a good game. So, I always like to see Wellington College lose, but I like to see Scots College lose too. So I hope that's a 0-0 draw in my opinion, but I'd probably edge Scots on that one.
And that would be our feature game on Sideline.live and Huddy Sports this weekend. I'll be commentating that game, Scots versus Wellington College from 2:30 p.m. Well, Mitch, it's been a pleasure having you as our co-host tonight, and I hope you've enjoyed your first ever experience on the Huddy Hui. Hope we'll have you on again sometime soon.
Cheers, Bradley. Huddy Hui, one of the greats.
And that is the Huddy Hui for tonight. Our 50th episode will be back our usual time next week, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Many thanks to our sponsors, Mike Pinfold, Plumbing and Draying Laying Limited, and Louise Reddy of New Zealand Travel Brokers. We'll see you next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Ciao for now.